What is up, everybody? Saints, Rams, ugly loss in a game that really proved the Saints are light years away from being anywhere close to competitive with the best teams in the league. I mean, they did not even belong on the field with the Rams. Now, the defense was horrible, but we got to look at Tyler Shough. It's what everybody wants to see. So let's get into the film. Alrighty. So, what do we know is a young quarterback's best friend? A good defense and a good running game. Well, the Saints had neither yesterday. Like, not even close to either one of those things. And I want to, put some of these plays in there just to show, like, man, it's, you expect or you would hope for your team, to help a young quarterback out and take as much pressure off his shoulders as possible. But that just didn't happen yesterday for the Saints. The run game was putrid. This was the very first play of the game. Looks like it's just going to be a zone read here. Now, what you're going to get is a double team here, or a really terrible one here. You're going to have pinning one-on-one here, and then everybody's going to be zone blocking to their right. And then Taysom, we're going to leave this guy unblocked, and Taysom's going to come out here wide and hopefully influence this guy to not crash down on the ball, right? Tyler Shough, it looks like he's reading this guy. If he crashes, he would take the ball himself. And if he stays home, which he did, he's going to hand the ball to AK. At least that's what it looks like. Who knows? Could be a predetermined handoff, but just going off what we can look at on film. So, two things here, right? So you can see he's kind of reading him there. He stays, so he gives. But the problem is we have pinning here on this one-on-one block who just gets absolutely blown up and loses his rep. I mean, just gets shoved back. Look at that inside hand or that outside hand of is that Puna Ford right there. Boom. Just extends pinning, looks for the ball, and he's already met Alvin Kamara in the backfield, right? So there's that part. Now, on the backside here, on the double team between Morrow and Kelvin Banks Jr., this is just a terrible double team. A terrible double team that Braden Fisk easily splits right there. And again, right there in the backfield, waiting to make the tackle on Alvin Kamara. So the Saints' very first play of the game, they end up getting 1 yard. Penning gets beat. We have a terrible double team over here, and it's just a wonderful way to set the tone if you're the New Orleans Saints. Am I right? And then literally the very next play after you gain 1 yard on a rush on first down, you come back on second down, you run the ball again, and you gain 2 yards, right? And all of a sudden your rookie quarterback's in a third and long situation against one of the best defenses in the league. So, I mean, again, this is just terrible from the Saints. They're just trying to run zone to the left, right? Hand the ball off to AK, split zone, bringing that tight end across the formation to block the end, okay? But the Rams, they're going to run a stunt, right? The defensive line is going to stunt to their left, right? And with the Saints running zone to their right, it kind of puts them in a tough situation because when the Rams stunt their defensive line to the left, they're also going to bring this linebacker in here to this gap that opens up from it, right? And these are the type of things as an offensive line you have to be ready for, right? You have to see on film what they do versus certain types of runs. So like right here, when we're zoning to the right and pinning, he feels Fisk. Well, all of a sudden he needs to pass Fisk off to Fortner, right? So that he can come off on Landman here and at least, get something, get a piece of him so that, once again, Alvin Kamara is not met in the backfield right after he takes the snap, right? And AK actually does a nice job of getting rid of that guy, but then he's pursued from the backside, and he's also tackled here by Fisk, who once again just obliterates a double team. This is just really, 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 really bad football. I mean, look at Cesar Ruiz on the backside. 91 here just gets completely beat by Kobe Turner, and he's able to pursue from the backside. I mean, this is just so bad. Bad football here. Like, it's just embarrassing to watch. So next play here, like I said, that brings up a third down, right? Third and long against one of the best defenses in the league. Rams are going to bring up pressure. They're going to have like a boss front over here, and then they're going to bring this guy, and they're going to run some games up front, and the pocket is going to collapse really quickly. The Saints are going to run Hank on this side, so we're going to have a flat. We're going to have a sit over the ball, and we're going to have a deep curl, right? And then over here, it looks like probably double slants, and we're going to hit Shaheed down at the bottom of the screen. Now, one thing that bothers me about this is, so many times this year, the Saints on these third downs were running our routes short of the sticks. So even though this thing is caught, right, it's still short of the sticks, and it ends up being a fourth down in the Saints punt. Now, is this throw behind? Yes, this throw is behind. This needs to be out here in front of Shaheed where he can try to catch it and maybe squeeze by here, maybe, you know, at least give your guy a better chance to run up the field and catch it in stride, right? Maybe Shough is thinking that, you know, this defender right here, you don't want to, you know, lead him into a big hit or an interception or whatever, but we just got to put that thing on Shaheed in stride to where we can maybe catch this thing and hopefully run for a first down, even though we don't even run the route at the sticks. So we complete the pass, you know, with pressure in our face. Again, like pocket collapses almost instantly. Guy up top on the deep curl hasn't even came out of his break yet, so that was never an option. Everything else is covered nicely. Flat over here, but that's going to get you nowhere on fourth or on third down. So, you know, I like the decision here. I don't necessarily love the throw. It's inaccurate. Put it upfield, but again, first throw on third down, you know, against a really good defense in your first start, whatever, move on. All right, another third down here. This is after a screen that went pretty much nowhere and a run that pretty much went nowhere. Once again, the Rams are going to get home. This time they actually get a sack. Okay, Cesar Ruiz gets beat. All right, we also get penetration up the middle on the left side as well. But again, just so we take the snap here, right? Look at the receivers. There is not a single receiver that has even gotten into their break yet when we have pressure on the quarterback. Look, nobody. Check down. That's it. That is it, right? Rams looks like they're going to be in like quarters match. You know, the Saints are trying to bring a comeback on the outside here from Shaheed and maybe like this little wrap from Juwan Johnson up top. There's nothing going up there either. Olave gets pressed into oblivion. Up top is covered. That's Vele, right? So really, you know, not a whole lot of places to go with the ball. You can see Juwan, he's going to break this thing inside, but they got a defender sitting right here ready to jump that. That wouldn't have been open. Really, your only shot would have been down here, Shaheed, outside the numbers on this comeback route. It's a throw we've seen, or a call we've seen the Saints make a bunch of times. Kellen Moore, he likes these outside comeback routes, timing routes, but it's just, you know, impossible to do it when you're getting your leg torn off your body within mere seconds after the snap of the ball. So looking at this thing from the end zone view, get a good look at the offensive line. What happens? Cesar Ruiz over here. That's Braden Fisk. Just gets absolutely smoked, right? Fuaga tries to go inside and help him. It's too late with it. That's actually a nice job by the center recovering to get Kobe Turner after he comes outside and then goes back inside. So, I mean, it's just, you know, one man getting smoked here pretty much, and it ruins the whole entire play. I mean, look at this thing. Like we're at the top of our drop now. He's already in our lap. It's just losing football. All right, next one here. This is a run play. This is the last run I'm going to show just because at this point you guys get it. It's a mess. The run game is just a complete mess. But here the Saints are going to run power out of the I formation, right? Old school football, tons of tight ends on the field, fullback, whatever, AK lined up in the I, under center, right? And this play has a chance. But again, one little detail is off and the whole thing is ruined, right? You only get 3 yards on it when it could have been much more. So we're going to get Fuaga. Well, first of all, everybody over here is blocking down, right? Blocking down. We're going to get Fuaga is going to sort of work with Moreau here on 0 on Byron Young, right? And really, you got to get a better job from these two as well. And the end man, 53, down here, when he creeps up, that becomes the fullbacks guy, right? He's going to kick out the end. This is just power football. Now, I don't know if Penning heard the call wrong or what, but he also goes out and tries to block the end man on the line of scrimmage when really he should be pulling around for 48 here, right? And you could see this has a chance if 48 is blocked up. So we snap the ball. You could see the double team here, you know, could have been better. We get a little, we get a hand on it, right? But both Stahl and Penning come out here and block 53. Well, that's great, but that leaves nobody for 48. He doesn't even end up making the play, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's just the little details on these things that aren't working out, man, right? And you know, Kamara has to cut this thing inside because he sees 48 coming out here, right? And so right here, he sees a hole, but then by that point, Cesar Ruiz gets beat inside or outside by Poona Ford. So it's just so many little details in the Saints run game that's just so off right now, and it's just throwing everything. It's throwing the whole operation off. You are never going to have two guys pulling or to kick out 53, a linebacker. That's just, I mean, and if this is on purpose, then this is just nasty and they need to scrap it, right? Take your fullback, kick out the linebacker, take your guard, and pull up for the second level linebacker. You know, or, you know, if you're going to do this with Fuaga and the tight end, one of these guys need to come off. Like, somebody needs to come off on the second level here to where AK doesn't have to dance around and have to cut this thing back inside to where he's then tackled inside, right? If Penning, you know, comes up through this hole where the play is supposed to hit, blocks 48, that's probably taken care of, right? You got a receiver up here blocking, you probably get a lot more yards than 3. So everything about the Saints run game right now is just, it's abysmal. All right, next one here, 3rd down and 1. Saints are going to run mesh. Okay, and we're going to have Juwan sitting over the ball. And usually this thing is going to be red. You're going to look at one of your drags first. Your over the ball is going to be your second read here. And now, again, this is 3rd and 1, right? 3rd and 1. Once again, we do get pressure. This time, we have enough time, I believe. Now, you see the mesh here between these two. The Rams are going to be playing man coverage, and they're going to pass this thing off really nicely. So you can see everybody's being followed in man coverage. This linebacker right here is the hole player, meaning he can take anything that crosses his face, right? So really, the Rams play this concept really well here. So here, they have man coverage. This guy has man coverage on Olave, but he's coming across, so he passes him on to his buddy right here, the hole player, and he accepts that. Now this guy becomes the zone dropper, the hole player here, and he can look for anything else coming across the other way, which in this case would be Shaheed, right? So he's kind of bearing down on that thing, and it ends up being incomplete, right? Some pressure on the quarterback. But here, I think at this point right here, you got to just let this thing go to Shaheed. Yes, you're leading your guy into some trouble, but we're trying to win a football game here. Okay, understand the pressure collapsing around you, right? You know, we got the wheel route from the running back, which actually I take back what I said as far as the progression goes, because a lot of times when you have this wheel here, this guy is going to end up being your number 1, right? You're going to look for the wheel first, right? Now, you know, is it covered? Yeah. Okay, that's covered. So he gets off of that. Then we get to the mesh. And by that time, we do have pressure on us. But do we have time to get that thing to Shaheed? Maybe. But at the same time, if you look at Shaheed running his route, he's kind of breaking this thing like he kind of starts pointing his route this way, like behind the sticks. So even when Shough actually gets it out somehow, you know, it's thrown behind the sticks because that's like the direction that Shaheed was going. So this play, you know, I think it does have a chance, you know. Look at it from the end zone view here. Get a good shot at it. So he's peeking the wheel, doesn't like it, comes back. Right now, throw it. We do get pressured from behind. End up getting the ball out somehow, but a little too late. So let's move on. All right, next one here. This is a 3rd down and 9, and this is where I think Shough really got it going, really found some confidence, and you maybe told himself, okay, hey, I can do this thing. Let's go. So 3rd down and 9. You know, there was an awful sequence before this. We had a big run from Taysom. Then Kellen Moore tried to do it again and went nowhere. Then Kellen Moore threw the ball with Taysom, and he threw it in the dirt. That did nothing, and now you bring your rookie quarterback in on a 3rd down and 9. Right? Not the greatest coaching in the world, if you ask me. But it's whatever. 3rd down and 9, we end up completing this thing. So the Rams are going to be back here and cover 4 quarters, right? Now we're going to get this, you know, sort of in corner here. Cooks, slant, in, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to have Olave on the corner there. Now, this is a nice job from the Rams really trying to make a play on this thing, if I'm being honest. So, you know, this guy's job is to really reroute Olave, reroute him, right? Reroute him, and he's supposed to take anything to the flat. Now, at this point, he sees Cooks coming back in, so he sits back down on it and, you know, has decent coverage on it, right? And you can see the other defender that's up here actually ends up almost jumping this thing. Now, I don't know exactly the Rams' rules for their coverage, but usually when this guy is going to have this guy if he goes vertical, right? I wouldn't classify this as a vertical route, so he's jumping this thing and really leaving back here vulnerable, because if this guy goes underneath, he's supposed to zone off into his quarter, but he goes and he tries to make a play on it, right? And he almost does, right? So he sees this, he tries to break on it, just too late, right? Now, if Shough has any less of an arm, this is probably an interception. So this is a really nice throw from him, gunning that thing in there and getting the first down on a 3rd and 9 after really what was a pretty terrible sequence of plays beforehand. So this is a nice shot from Shough, a really nice catch from Brandon Cooks. And you could tell even from the reps that Shough got last week that he likes cooks. Like, you could tell these guys have gotten some reps together, because it seems like that's his go-to guy, for right now at least, right? So you can see, take it, zoom, right? Really nice catch in traffic. Really nice play from Shough as well, getting that thing out there. And also, it's pretty good defense, but the Saints somehow managed to pick up the first. Next one here, and these kind of plays they grind my gears, okay? So 3rd down and 7 here. Rams going to line up 7, bringing some kind of pressure, obviously, right? They're going to drop out 2 here over the ball to take away any of these, quick throws over the middle. Up here, we're going to have a fade from Shaheed, little hitch from Taysom. And then we're going to have down here, AK, we're going to have a go. And then Juwan is going to, I believe, run the little stick route up here. Now, as you can see, once again, instant pressure on the quarterback, right? We get a free rusher here immediately. Right? Shough knows he wants Kamara, right? Kamara, we got to turn around, and he does. And as he's being sacked, he lets this thing go, and he puts it on AK, and it's dropped, right? Here's the sticks. Right there. Now, if we catch that, fall forward, it's a 1st down. Why are we not helping out our rookie, man? This stuff just, it makes me so mad, And again, the Saints here, they're going to end up having a guy free right now. Empty protection against 7 guys lined up here. Don't love it. Do not love it at all. The offensive line, they have to pick a way to slide. They pick to go right. So they're choosing to pick up these 3. Now, some of these drop out, which means you're going to leave Penning here and then Banks here. Now, Banks probably should have squeezed down here, right, and protected the inside first, but he goes out here, so it's going to leave this guy free to the quarterback, okay? And Shough feels it, gets out of there. Look at this. Look at this throw. Is it perfect? No. Is it good enough with a guy bearing down on you? Yes. Look at it. Right in the hands. Dropped. What more can you say? All right, starting with probably what was the best drive of the game. I mean, it was without a doubt, because this is where they scored a touchdown. 54 seconds left to go before half. Ball at about the, 29-ish yard line. Rams going to be in man coverage. Just going to hit Shaheed down here on this curl. Going to hit him nice in time, in rhythm route here. Back foot hits. Check Shaheed. Let it go. Comes back to the ball. Nice shot from Shaheed doing that. Good catch. Get down. Get back on the ball. Good stuff. Next one here. Again, before half. This is the deep shot to Shaheed. Okay. Shaheed runs right by the guy. And this is stuff you don't see on the broadcast. You see this on the broadcast. You say, oh, Shough missed on another deep pass. Well, no. Shaheed stopped running. And I don't know why. So look at Shaheed down here. Boom. He beat his guy. Right? He's beat. Shough is unloading this thing now. He is unloading it now. Based on what Shaheed, the route he has ran to this point. The pace. Look at Shaheed. He stops right there. And then he speeds up at the very end. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we stopping here? Again, full thing. I won't pause it. Watch him from the top. Shaheed at the bottom. He stops running. And the ball's like 2-3 yards away. If he keeps running, it's a catch. I don't know. It's just mind-blowing stuff with this football team, man. Next one here, this is a 3rd down and 2. We're going to get an outside release from Juwan, or what probably should be 1. And this little sit route right here from Shaheed. And this is where the ball is looking to go. 3rd and 2. Just want to pick up the first. Up here, we're going to have one of them wrap concepts, right, with Olave up top. And you can see Shough. He wants to go to Shaheed right now, right? But he sees this defender buzzing over there. Possibly could have made a play on the ball. Okay, he resets, feels the pressure from the right side, escapes out of the pocket, probably looking to run at this point, but he keeps his eyes down the field, and this is where he finds Olave and throws an absolute dime on the run. This was a nice play from Tyler Shough right here. Wanted Shaheed, didn't throw it, maybe would have been an interception, right? Didn't panic, got away from the pressure here. Okay, snap the ball. See, wants Shaheed. Oh, not there. Take a peek over here. Not open yet. Feels this pressure back here. Let me go pick up this 1st down. But wait, let's keep our eyes downfield. Vroom. Alrighty, this one here is on the touchdown. We're going to get double sticks up top from Shaheed and Juwan. And then we're going to get a slant down here, or a post down here from Vele, right? Then we also have Chris Olave in the slot, sort of running through the middle on this deep corner, right? That's not going to be open. And it's a nice shot by Shough. You know, he feels he's looking to the right first, maybe peeking this thing, maybe wanting to see if we can get Vele over here on the shot at the end zone, but that's going to be covered with a DB and a safety. Gets his eyes backside. Maybe at this point you can let this thing go, right? But he decides to go with Juwan here. He feels the pressure. That's why he's kind of drifting to his left a little bit here. So he feels that pressure, starts drifting, finds Juwan, boom, puts it on the money. Juwan able to make a nice play and get into the end zone for Tyler Shough's first touchdown. So this was a really good drive from Tyler Shough and the Saints offense. About the only bright spot from the entire day yesterday, but the rookie got his first one here on this one. Next one here, 2nd down and 7. We're going to have AK on this out. We're going to have Olave on this like post or spear route. And we're going to have up top, it's going to be another slot fade, hitch, and then a sit over the ball for Juwan Johnson. And I like what Shough does here. He takes a peek at the safety. So pre-snap, it looks like too high, right? And if they stay in this too high shell, we might have a shot to Olave down the middle, splitting these safeties, right? But they don't. They actually rotate down into 1 high, right? So that post is now going to be taken away from this player here, right? So Shough, if you look at his eyes, right at the snap, he's peeking at that safety. See what he's doing. Okay, he sees him come down. He knows he needs to get off of that. Boom. Let me move to Juwan, wide open, deliver it. Nice gain over the middle, right? Simple, easy stuff, but the right read from Shough. You like to see him going through the process of processing the play, right? Hey, if this safety stays up here and we get too high, maybe we could take a shot here, try to split these safeties, right? Because see this vertical route over here, that would have took this safety this way, right? Right? Maybe we could split that thing, but no, he sees that safety come down. He processes the coverage change and gets the ball to where it needs to be. All right, we end up fumbling on that previous drive of that previous clip. Now this play here from Rashid Shaheed, or maybe it wasn't a fumble. I can't exactly remember. Maybe the quarter just changed and that's why the field flipped. I don't know. Either way, next play here. This is a really nice route from Rashid Shaheed. So he's going to go vertical. He's going to sell this thing inside and then break back outside, right? And then Tyler Shough is going to put it on him. So look at what Shaheed does to this DB up here. Going inside, just kidding. Boop. Get your legs broke. I'm coming back outside, right? Shough puts this thing on the money, right? Letting this thing go right before Shaheed gets to that break outside. Puts it right on him. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful route from Shaheed, even though he made me mad earlier when he stopped running on that deep ball. He comes back, he cooks a guy right here. And like I said, we get a nice throw, nice protection from the offensive line, and we move the chains. Another nice one here on 1st down and 10. Saints are going to go play action to the running back. He's going to go to the flat, and we're just going to high-low this flat defender over here with Olave on this deep corner. And it's a nice shot by Shough getting this thing in there because this is a deep corner from Olave. He kind of gets rerouted inside, and he has to take a little bit wider of a path. So you can see number 1 here, he's stuck. Do I want to cover the flat, or do I want to sink deep, right? And we also have a safety over the top. So Shough, you got to layer this thing in there. Like, you got to make sure you put this right on the money here. And he does. He lets that thing rip. Boom. Nice catch from Olave. But just a beautiful throw from Tyler Shough right there off the play action pass. We got to watch this one from the end zone because this was kind of a rope, man. Play action. Check the safety. Don't give him too much with your eyes. Boom. Let it rip on the money. Good stuff. All right, 3rd down here. We're going to run, again, outside release with Juwan up top, and we're going to try to hit Shaheed on this out route. But this time, again, it's ran behind the sticks. Now, a little bit, you have actually maybe a reason here because you do have a defender here sitting on you in what looks to be maybe, you know, zone match or man. Maybe it's man coverage. Let's see. What do we got? Yeah. Either way, you got a guy sitting on the route up top. So, you know, here's the sticks at the line here, and they're just playing the sticks. Cross. Right? That's basically what the Rams are doing on defense. So, you know, here, you know, maybe cut this thing a little early, whatever. Again, it's a really nice throw from Shough. It's on time, in rhythm, right? Catch from Shaheed, but we're behind the sticks and, you know, ends up being 4th and short. And we all know what happened next. We bring in Taysom and it just gets absolutely blown up and boom, that's the end of the drive on what would have been another nice drive for Tyler Shough and the Saints offense. This time we're late into the 4th quarter, and it's the same sort of thing we've seen earlier. We're going to get a play action, then we're going to get a corner and a flat, And we're going to just read high-low this thing. High-low the defender. If he stays low, we throw it high. If he goes high, we throw it low. Right? So we see here, what's he doing? He's kind of sitting on this flat route. Shough lets it go to the corner to Shaheed, or deep out, sail, whatever you want to call it. And it's caught beautifully. Boom. Right there on the money. Nice shot from Shaheed, keeping his feet inbounds to toe tap this thing. All right, let's see. When does Shough release this ball here? Play action. Back foot hits. Lets it go now, right? A little bit of anticipation. Good throw. Keep it moving. All right, 2nd down and 4 here. We get instantly pressured. We're going to get a deep curl from Shaheed that was going to be open. Going to get a check release from the tight end. Sort of the same thing over here from down here on this side. But you can see the Rams are actually going to bring this linebacker on a blitz, and the offensive line does a terrible job of sorting it out. So you can see we take the snap, play action, not even at the top of our drop. We have a Ram in our lap, right? You can see Shaheed was probably going to come open. Maybe we can hit that throw over this defender. Yeah, for sure. Right, but you can see we just get absolutely demolished. We actually does a nice job of breaking this sack here. Maybe could have tossed that there. Right here is one of them situations where just run it. Just run it and get whatever yards you can. He's actually done a nice job of breaking out of sacks at times, like so far in his limited reps, Shough. But you like to see him just run this thing instead of keeping, just throwing it out of bounds. But either way, I mean, protection-wise, just can't have this type of breakdown. If you're Banks, you got to pass this thing off to Penning and then get back. So right here, you can see these two. For these two, it's not tough. Boom, Banks, pass this inside, get back out to 53. Pick that up, right? It's not tough. It's not high level. It's just a simple stunt, a simple blitz stunt that we see every week from football teams. But Shough gets out of there. Definitely should have scrambled on this one, though. All right, next one here, 3rd down and 4. Going to hit Juwan here. See all this space that they're giving us? Just going to try to turn around and make this throw here. And it wouldn't be a complete game without a drop from Juwan Johnson. So we take the snap. We look that way. Quick set. Let it rip. Hit him right in the chest. Would have been a first, but he drops it. Or gets it jar loose, one of the two. I mean, just pitiful, pathetic. What other way can you describe it? All right, this is on the 4th down and 4 that Shough threw the pick. So you can see the Rams. They're bringing a blitz, right? Simulated pressure. They're going to show guys and they're going to drop out, but we still end up allowing pressure eventually. Now, you can see what Shough wants. He wants Olave up top, isolated on this little whip return, but you can see Olave gets absolutely bullied at the line. There's the end, trying to break this thing back out. Gets absolutely stuffed, right? At this point, so let's watch Shough, right? That's where he wants. It's not there. Let's get backside. Now here, you got to either see Taysom or Rashid Shaheed. I know you have a quick window because there's already a guy in our face right here. Already, boom, right? But we got to see either one of these. Let that thing go now, right? But the pressure comes. He avoids it. And now he lets it go to Shaheed. But at this point, Shaheed actually turns upfield and the defender's coming downhill. So definitely had a chance here on this second read window right here to make this throw, this completion. But then when we escape this sack, when we go to throw it, Shaheed goes upfield, the defender comes downfield, and it's picked, right? So just unfortunate, right? But these are the type of situations you learn, and these are why reps are so important here, right? You want Olave, your number one guy, but he gets just slammed at the line of scrimmage. We get backside. It's a nice job going through your reads, right, with pressure in our face. We just got to let it rip, baby. Let it rip, right? And he eventually does after he gets rid of the pressure. But again, just a sort of miscommunication here. He goes upfield. He's not wrong, right? It's a scramble chill. He's looking to make something happen, but just unfortunate. So if we look at this thing from the sideline, or the end zone view, excuse me. See, look at Shough's eyes. Once that way, comes back. I mean, you can see, so when does he come back to Olave? Or excuse me, to the backside. So as soon as his eyes come back, he's already got that pressure here. We got to let it rip there, man. He thought about it. Let it rip. Trust yourself. Trust your arm. Trust it. You got it. You'll learn from it. But that's it. That's the end of the video, man. Overall thoughts, not a terrible performance from Tyler Shough at all. I thought it was pretty solid. Actually, made some nice throws. Definitely some stuff that he can learn from. Tough outing, your first opponent being the Los Angeles Rams, and especially when you have no run game and your defense was horrible, so you're playing catch up the entire time. So it's especially tough when they know you have to pass it, and it's a really good defense you're going against. So definitely something to build on. But man, just the team around him and the whole operation is it's ugly. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Peace.